All right. Well, hello again to all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching. John and Ellie of Georgia Beer Reviews back at you this evening with a special examination. We are looking at Imperial Stouts. And joining me this evening, we have, as always, Michael Kormaroff from Brooklyn.
Hello.
Cheers, Michael. We've got Bumpy Road Brewery down there, who's actually up in New Hampshire. Thanks for joining, Bumpy. And Mr. Alex, the beer master, the founder's master. He is joining us this evening as well. All right, so we're looking at Imperial Stouts. We've already got Josh in the chat, who it's his birthday today. So happy birthday to Josh Abrams. Cheers to you. Don't get too crazy on your 61st birthday. You got to take it easy. You're not as young as you used to be.
Oh,
all right, so let's go ahead and get right into it. We'll start with Michael Kormaroff. What are you drinking this evening, Michael?
This is from Long Island, New York, from Glen Cove on the North Shore. The brewery is Garvey's Point, and the beer is called Tusk the Dawn. It's milk stout, Imperial milk stout, with peanut butter and cocoa nibs added at 8% ABV. Do you want me to pour it up?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and pour it up. Oh, drunken ones in the chat. Okay. Miscellaneous as well. Cheers.
Okay.
Cheers to everybody in the chat.
Using my Blue Point glass. Okay, so in the glass, it's dark brown. You really can't see through it, but it's not black, it's brown. The head is kind of a beige two-finger head, kind of bubbly. And I will come back with further description after everybody shows their beers.
All right, sounds good. Let's go to Mr. Bumpy Road Brewery with his beer next. What are you drinking, Bumpy?
Oh, so I got Wandering Soul Beer Company. They're out of Beverly, Mass. This one is called From the Wreckage. It's Imperial Stout at 10.5% ABV. Pretty interesting can art there. It's like a infrastructure building, something that collapsed down, and from the wreckage, a beautiful green plant is growing. So let's go ahead and crack this one open. I will be pouring this into my medicine glass of Fuck It All.
Oh my God! Hold on. Let me just pull this up. We got to get a close up of that. Nice.
I'm gonna drink out of that when I hang out you in person, Bumpy. That's a cool glass.
So yeah, need a brew. Place one in front of yourself as needed, and tilt your head back periodically. Fill up 16 ounces. Quantity 1 16-ounce. Refills are when it's empty. And
nice.
Dr. Guttabuzz.
I have a shot glass like that, and it's the prescription is from Dr. Al Kohal, and it's a similar. Anyway, that's funny. I hadn't seen the beer glass version of that.
I'm pretty sure Johnny.
Some of the side effects of overuse may cause embarrassing stories.
True that.
But I would just tell you, I've had this beer for a while. I've been saving this for my wife, but she's obviously not drinking it. I was pretty impressed with it. It's a dark beer. It's 10.5. It's an Imperial Stout. It's black, we'll call it. It's got a good mocha colored, fairly decent size head on it.
We'll just have
a medium. It's a medium mix. Like you got some smaller bubbles, you got the medium bubbles, and then they form and then they break down a little bit, but it holds a ring of head. Eventually, you can kind of see the head right there.
Yeah, nice creamy looking head. Yeah, looks good.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, anybody in the chat, if you want to guess what Alex is drinking before he says it, go ahead and post what your thoughts are in the chat. We'll see if you're right. Winner gets nothing. But all right, Alex, go ahead. What do you have? What are you drinking this evening? Could it be? Is it? Yes, it is.
KBS Espresso.
Another Founder's beer.
2020. And Johnny Boy's not innocent either, everybody. He probably has multiple beers too.
Yes, but no, you're the only person that I know that has that much Founders just all the time. It's really impressive. I'm quite jealous, actually. I wish I had the Founders collection that you have in your.
I don't know how I do it. But I just love it. Johnny Boy, like I said, you're not innocent either. So I'm going to pour this up now.
All right.
Just saying facts. You're not innocent. Okay. Got it in the Alex the Beer Master glass.
Cheers. Cheers to you, Tommy Carroll. Thanks for stopping by.
Now that.
And yes, Alex does have the connection. He's got it, Robert.
That is a beautiful beer.
It sure is.
Do you want me to smell and taste, or what's the deal here?
We'll go back around. Everybody just poured, so we'll go back around and we'll get to you very soon with your aromas and taste and all that. I've still got to pour my beer and let all the wonderful viewers out there in YouTube land know what I'm drinking. And here it is, New Belgium. It's the Piano Keys. It's an Imperial Stout. Clocks in at 10% alcohol. It's a collaboration beer between New Belgium and Ale Sharpton, not to be confused with the Reverend Al Sharpton. Ale Sharpton is a musician out of Atlanta, Georgia, and the Piano Keys there, he's a pianist. That's a funny word to say. That's what he is. Okay, so 10% alcohol by volume. It is an Imperial Stout brewed with chocolate and vanilla extract. So I expect a very dessert-like, sweet, malty beer because of the extract in there. That sounds right up my alley. Go ahead and pour it. And the 4-pack was $13.99 for the 4-pack. These are 16-ounce cans for a 10% Imperial. If it's any good, which I have high hopes, especially with New Belgium being involved, I think it's going to be pretty good. There's your pour. Nice creamy looking head there, about 2 fingers worth. Creamy tan head. The appearance jet black. Pretty typical stout appearance. Looks good. All right. So we've all poured our beers. We've all shown everybody what they look like. They look amazing. And Bart Robinson, thanks for stopping by. Good to see you, Bart. Haven't seen you in a little while. Hope you're doing well. All right. Let's get into it. We're going to start back with Michael Kormoroff.
Okay, so the original head that I poured now has declined. So now it's still beige. Obviously, the color hasn't changed, but the head itself has now shrunk to a thin head. You're still getting lacing on the side and good head retention on the top of the glass. When I get a nose on this, you definitely get the peanut butter and you definitely get chocolate. And you can understand that it's cocoa nibs in it. So that kind of you get kind of a bitter chocolate taste. But it smells really good. I mean, it looks like the combination of the nose is really inviting. And I'm going to take another sip. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers. Okay, so you get the peanut butter on the taste. You get the cocoa nibs, and it's like a bitter chocolate. I don't know what the ABVs on this are. They don't tell you. But there is mild bitterness anyway.
You mean IBUs?
I'm not sure. Oh, I say IBUs. I don't know what the IBUs are. On the website they didn't list the IBUs, but there is bitterness in it. So it probably maybe somewhere around 30, maybe even 40 IBUs. It doesn't taste like 8%. Tastes more. It's more than a session because it's substantial. The mouthfeel is medium, but it's very drinkable. And you're getting the flavors coming back on your tongue and down your throat. So it's very enjoyable. This style I find interesting because I guess peanut butter and cocoa nibs together are an interesting combination. And whatever stout they're using, whatever milk stout is the base, seems like it's pretty good too. So I am enjoying this. I'll come back and have a number when we come around again.
Okay. Yeah, it's hard to go wrong with peanut butter and chocolate. I mean, most people love Reese's peanut butter cups, and when you do that with a stout, that's a lot of times that's the flavor profile you're getting.
Did you say
do
they add lactose to that too?
Let's see. Did they say anything about lactose
Or
on it?
vanilla?
They don't say, but you kind of wonder. Actually, I'll read to you what it says. Tusk Till Dawn is our first collaboration beer with our friends at Barrage Brewing. It's part of our Wellwyn Wall series. This Imperial milk stout is brewed lactose, Bumpy.
Yeah, well, lactose.
Peanut butter powder and cocoa nibs. A rich essence of milk, chocolate, and peanut butter complement the roasted malts and creamy mouthfeel from the milk sugar. The artwork for this series is created by local artist John Macchioni, where he creates each original Runes mural on display at the Wellwyn Preserve here in Glen Cove. So take a trip and find it for yourself. It's got like a tusked elephant on the front.
Yeah.
That's the Tusk Till Dawn. Okay, So you did read it correctly. There's milk sugar and lactose in it as well.
Yeah. Well, I was just wondering because with the cacao nibs, that's a very harsh chocolate. That's like baker's chocolate. If you just use the cacao nibs, it's unsweetened. I mean, it's natural. It's chocolate in its natural form. So like typically to make it sweeter, I would add vanilla. Like vanilla beans, preferably, if you can never source them anymore. But it just makes it more like a milk chocolate. So lactose with some of the sweetness from the lactose would make it like more of a milk chocolate.
And now that we know that's what it is, that's why it's creamy. I was wondering why it was creamy. That's why it's creamy. You're getting kind of a creamy mouthfeel too. That's why it is that way.
Okay. Well, yeah, sounds really good. Look forward
Enjoying
to
it.
Coming back around, and we'll hear what your final thoughts and ratings here in a little bit. Really quick, I wanted to bring up this comment from Commerce. He's drinking along with us. He's having a Brooklyn black chocolate stout, 10% ABV Russian Imperial. That is an awesome beer. I know Michael's had it, possibly Bumpy and Alex as well, but that is one hell of a stout.
I've had a version of that. I'm not sure if it's the exact same one or not. I have had an Imperial chocolate stout from Brooklyn. I'm going to pour some of this into a glass so you guys can actually see what it looks like. So I wasn't kidding you. It's a dark beer with a nice kind of cocoa chocolatey type head to it. Small, medium bubbles. It will form larger bubbles and break down. But yeah, very dark. I mean, you hold it up to light, there's very slight reddish caramel type thing going on down there. Very thin layer. So this thing is dark. It's black. The aromas. It's got a bit of a fruitiness. There's some roasty, toasty notes in there. So kind of like a bit of a coffee. Kind of like toasted bread a little bit. And then there is a fruitiness that I first pick up, just in case I'm picking anything up else that I've had in that glass. That's why I didn't use it because I drank other beers previously. I'll go back to this one. Oh yeah, it's more robust in this glass. Hints of darker chocolate. There's some like coffee notes in there, a bit of like coffee bean. Still a bit of that kind of like almost burnt toast. I mean, toast that's been in there that's beyond golden. It's starting to become really, really, really crisp toast. So the breadiness, but it's toasted to the max. Yeah, I would say a little bit earthy toned as well. Cheers. Fuck it all.
Cheers.
Yes.
Get that prescription up in you.
Keep up, John.
It's like between a medium to full body mouthfeel to it. It's got a little bit of a creaminess, kind of soft palate, marshmallow-esque, salted marshmallow feel, slightly. Pick up on a lot of the kind of darker chocolate notes, a lot of the toast notes, bread that's been toasted. There is a slight fruit character to this. It almost goes from like a lighter fruit into, it's really not going like dark fruit. It's kind of staying light fruit. I thought I tasted strawberry, which is weird, very weird, but it's kind of like, yeah, like a lighter fruit type note in there. It's definitely fruity. It's got a fruitiness. It doesn't remind me of plum, raisin, any of that stuff, but it has a fruitiness. And I thought I tasted like a quick hint of strawberry. That's gone away. It's not strawberry, but it's down there in the fruit range. There is a bitterness that lingers on. It is so tough to say. It's kind of coming from the malts. It's kind of like that bitter chocolate with some fruitiness. It's from the hops too. A lot of the bitterness is coming from the hops, so that's also where that fruitiness is coming from. Yeah, it's a strange brew. I've had this one for a while. It has changed for the amount of time that I've had it. This was more robust and stuff when it was fresher. It's kind of getting some weird, like fruity notes in there, but you get the base Imperial Stout with the dark chocolate, a bit of that kind of coffee bean. Now, coffee beans and stuff, they don't say that they put coffee in this at all, so don't get me wrong there. But coffee beans themselves, if you look at like the listing of what they say, like if you buy coffee in the store or whatnot, or if you go to like a Dunkin' Donuts at Starbucks, whatever, they'll say, oh, it's light fruit, like citrusy, or this one's got chocolate or plum notes, and so the beans themselves give off, because they're roasted at different things, just like malts would be.
Right.
And this would be from the malts, with that kind of coffee bean thing going on. The fruit note thing, that's throwing me way off. I didn't notice that before, but I'm noticing it a lot now, and it's throwing me off because it doesn't match what the beer is. You should not be getting strawberry notes unless there's strawberries added to it, or any type of lighter type berry or even apple type fruit note. But it definitely is fruity. And it's not a dark fruit.
I notice sometimes with like really like the barrel aged stouts, sometimes you'll get not necessarily dark fruit, you'll get the berry note, like a mixed berry compote type thing, where you get like the blackberry, the raspberry, and the blueberry, or even strawberry, like that mixed berry note. Yeah. But that's not barrel aged, right? So that's
not barrel aged.
You shouldn't be getting that from that. But yeah, I've noticed that a lot with the barrel aged stouts. So that's interesting. One quick question before we go to Alex. I don't know if you may have already mentioned this, but it is 10.5%. So are you picking? Is it boozy at all, or is it?
There's no alcohol flavor, but I've had a few beers tonight. I can definitely feel it. I can feel it.
You can feel the alcohol.
If this is my first beer, if this is the first beer of the day, though, first or second, I wouldn't say I was feeling it, but I went from okay, I've had a couple because I've done a couple different shows tonight. To this one's definitely hitting me heavier than
you went from
anything else.
First, second gear to
you
third.
You get the kind of fogginess in the ears. It's like deafening and kind of tunnel vision a little bit. Yeah, I'm feeling it. Right. It's not burning my chest. It doesn't taste of alcohol, but yeah, a few of these would hit you. Or if you drink a bunch of light beers and then you have one of these, it will hit you.
Right. All right, good deal. Well, we'll come back around. And,
this is the most screwed up review ever. Damn it.
No, it's all good. All right, I can't wait to see what rating this one's going to get. Cheers to Brian. Thanks for tuning in. We've got Burley Sullivan in the chat as well. Is Boy getting sauced? I don't know. All right. Wow, good turnout for such a last-minute thing. Thanks to everybody in the chat for stopping by. All right, so we'll come back to you soon, Bumpy. Let's go to Mr. Alex, the KBS master, or I'm sorry, Alex, the beer master. Go for it, Alex.
Appreciate you, John. I love you for it. And that is true. When you get drunk, you do have that deafening, like you can't hear nothing. I noticed that when you drink a lot. I noticed that as I was getting older. That was weird. Because people do get that. I never experienced that in my life until I started drinking. So, nice dark beer. It kept a nice frothy head. Nice frothy head. Let's see what it smells like, shall we? Well, when I first opened it up and I poured it, it smelled like roasted coffee and caramel. Because it's obviously espresso, so you expect that. So let's see what this tastes like, shall we? Cheers.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, Alex.
Good. It's probably because I drank another beer before this from another examination. I was drinking this. But this beer is pretty good. You can taste it's very creamy. There's that creamy mouthfeel. A little bit of roastiness. Dryness as well. But hey, a lot of these stouts, you get that delicious flavor and also the dryness as well. Makes you want to go back for more.
Well, yeah, 12%. Once you get that high on the alcohol too, you're getting the drying effect from the 12% too, not necessarily just the malts and the hops, but
you might have a point there. Yeah, that is also true too.
It's like when you do a shot, like a shot of whiskey or something, you get just sucks all the moisture right out of your mouth.
That's true. That's exactly what it is. But yeah, I don't taste any. I taste a little bit of coffee. It's more roastiness, and you have that burniness or that warmness down your throat.
Yeah. Right.
Alex, can you taste the 12%?
Yeah. I don't taste the alcohol. I don't taste the alcohol.
But it's got the burn. Because of the burn, though, you're saying it's a higher alcohol beer because it's got that alcohol burn to it.
True that. True that. Now,
Yeah.
then you get these beers that you drink, and you know it's a 12%, but it doesn't feel like a 12%. It goes down smooth. Now, this goes down smooth, but it goes down smooth, but with that burniness. I like the beers when they go down smooth without burniness. But again, I would get this.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
I would get this again. It's a good beer. Well, but I mean, I will obviously get this again. It's a very good beer, but I like CBS and I like KBS better. What I mean by that, not KBS, the KBS.
The fudge, Mackinac fudge.
But yes, I like that better.
Is it because they're sweeter?
Yeah,
Like-
I think this has a sweetness to it. Oh, don't get me wrong. I forgot to say that. It does have a sweetness to it, but it has a more of a coffee roastiness, bitterness to it.
Right.
So when you're drinking the I don't know if this is barrel aged though. I think it is.
Oh yeah. All of the KBS are barrel aged.
Oh yeah. So as long as it's a CBS or a KBS, is a barrel aged. You're right.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna I'll give it a rating next time around. But it's a very tasty beer. I would get it again, but like I said, I pick the Mackinac Fudge and the CBS and the original Founders KBS. But again, all KBS beers are good. It's just some of them.
So it sounds like that one's actually probably your least favorite of the Founders barrel aged, the KBS and the CBS.
Yeah, because if I remember correctly, Legendary Bumpy also said,
I didn't do nothing.
no, you did say something. You brought me this last year. And you told me it wasn't really, you're not a big coffee person. I'm not a big coffee person
Yeah.
either.
No, I like my coffee sweet.
See, there you go. So yeah, I like my coffee beer sweet. Again, I will get it again, but not my favorite.
Okay. We'll let you keep sipping on it. We'll come back around with a rating here in a little bit. All right. I'm finally up.
Maybe
I'm very
it'll
thirsty.
get sweeter, Johnny boy. Maybe it'll get sweeter as it warms up.
Maybe,
Cheers.
Alex. You could put a little
Come on.
creamer in it. It might help.
Oh, all right. I love you, John. Keep it up.
All right. So here we go. I'm very excited to take a sip of this beer because I've been holding out. New Belgium Piano Keys, 10% alcohol, chocolate and vanilla extract. It does not say anything about lactose. I was looking very closely on the label. So I guess just the extracts in here. And interestingly enough, I was kind of getting a little bit of the aroma. It doesn't really smell very sweet. You would think chocolate, vanilla extract, it would be very strong. But it smells kind of like a straight stout. You're getting the roasty, toasty, bready notes on the aroma. A little bit of dark chocolate, but there's nothing on the aroma that would indicate that this is going to be a sweet beer, which is kind of what I went into this examination thinking that this was going to be a sweeter beer because of the extracts. I figured it would be strong flavors, and it may be on the palate, but on the aroma, it pretty much just smells like a straight stout, the roasty, toasty, bready notes, a little dark chocolate. That's pretty much it. None of the 10% alcohol is coming through. It just smells like a straight stout. So I am ready to dive in. As you can see, nice little bit of head retention and some lacing starting to form. So it's a really good looking beer. Cheers, guys. Let's do this.
Cheers, John.
Cheers, my brother. Appreciate you.
So a little bit of chocolate, dark chocolate, not really super sweet at all. The aroma the palate follows the aroma. Pretty much, that's pretty much it. So a little bit of dark chocolate, some nice roasty, toasty, bready malt character in the middle of the sip, some nice dark toasted bread notes. Not burnt, but very dark. You're getting a little bit of an astringency from that roasted malt. I don't think it's coming from the hops, but there's a little bit of bitterness from the dark roasted malt character that I'm getting with this. The carbonation is very low. The mouthfeel it doesn't really have a creamy mouthfeel, and it's not a heavy beer. Let's say it's kind of on the medium side, especially for 10%. It doesn't drink like a super high alcohol beer. It drinks almost like a session. I feel like I can just guzzle this down. It drinks like maybe like the Guinness Extra Stout, which I believe is right at 6%. It drinks like that, very similar to the Extra Stout.
Legendary Johnny Boy, are you trying to tell me it's kind of like watered down or something? Because when I drink these, obviously
No, it's not watered down. It's very roasty, toasty, rich with the bready malt character, but it's lacking with I'm not getting any vanilla extract, no sweetness from that. A little bit of dark chocolate, which I believe is actually coming from the roasted barley malt. I'm not getting like a chocolate extract feel at all. So I would say that the extracts get completely lost in this. It drinks like a straight Imperial. Well, it drinks like a straight stout. Like it drinks just like the Guinness Extra Stout, but it's 10% alcohol, so you get a little bit more bang for your buck. Slightly disappointed because I was expecting more sweetness, a little bit more balance between the roasty, toasty, bready notes and those extracts that they put in here, but I'm not getting any of that.
Where's the IBUs, Johnny Boy? The IBUs, maybe
they don't list the IBUs, but the bitterness that I'm getting, it tastes like it's coming more from the roasted malt. I'm not getting like any earthy notes or any other hop type quality notes that would make me think that I'm getting bitterness from the hops. It just tastes like it's coming from the malt, the roasted barley malt. It's good. Don't get me wrong. This is a great beer. It's very smooth for 10%. The price was not bad. It is from New Belgium, so the distribution might be pretty good if you live, I don't know, on the Midwest or the Southeast or the Northeast or pretty much anywhere at this point. I think New Belgium is pretty widespread in the U.S. You might be able to find this. It is, let's see. It was canned on March 6th, 2020. Or no, I'm sorry. The Best By date is March 6th, 2022. So it's not a freshness issue as far as the extract, lacking that sweetness and those extract qualities. But yeah, it's a good beer. I'll keep sipping on it, think of a rating, but the biggest disappointment is that I'm not getting any of those sweet, malty characteristics that I was hoping for from the extract in the beer. So I'll keep sipping, think of a rating. This is dangerous, though. This is definitely a dangerous beer because it drinks like a borderline session beer, and it's not super heavy bodied, so you could drink a few of these and think you're just drinking like a straight stout and end up in a lot of trouble at 10%. I mean, that's getting up there. All right, really quick.
And Johnny
Boy,
Johnny Boy,
yeah.
I don't like that when they actually advertise, oh, it's going to be vanilla, it's going to be sweet, and then you drink it.
They don't say that on the label. It just says that it has the chocolate and vanilla extract in it. So I assumed that it would be more on the sweet side, which, Alex, if people haven't already told you this, that's why you don't assume. Because when you assume things, you only make an ass out of yourself.
That's true, my brother.
Best advice my mother gave me. Okay. And I've done that plenty of times over the years, believe me.
That's okay, Johnny.
So Josh says, I have an Imperial beer. It's a triple dry hopped beer. Let's see. Happy birthday to Josh, says Brian. Yes, happy birthday. He turned 61 today. Congratulations, Josh. I would have guessed 71, but good for you, buddy.
John.
Cheers to Brandon. Brandon says 40, and I don't think they can figure out how old he is. Well, he said 61, so we're going to go with
What's
that.
up, Legendary Brandon? Appreciate you.
And apparently I said happy birthday, Skinnyhead, but I think that may have been somebody else leaving that comment.
Not me.
Bart wishes Josh a happy birthday. All right. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. And Burley, all right, we are caught up now. He says, I found a 5-year-old 5.8% coffee porter. Should I? No. Not enough alcohol, and it's the porter. It's going to be a little bit thinner bodied. Plus, it's 5 years old. The coffee's probably faded. It probably should not be on the shelf, Burley.
It has to be 12%, 13%, 15%.
Well, it doesn't even have to be that. I would say 8 to anything 8 plus would probably age okay. But then once you start getting the coffee and all those additives in there, extracts, whatever it may be, you're gonna have to expect some fading from those adjuncts. But like
are you saying the beer? Are you saying the beer would be bad though? I mean, I'm just.
I'm saying
I had a 7% Belgian. It was a Belgian. It wasn't a Tripel. It was like a Belgian whatever. It was 7% ABV. It was 7 years old. Also, so a year per alcohol percentage, and it tasted perfectly fine.
So Burley, all right. So you don't have anything to lose. He found it in his closet. So yeah, as long as you've already got it, go ahead and crack it open and take a sip. But I wouldn't. I don't know. I wouldn't get my hopes up. It's probably not that great.
Well, take a sip and let us know how it is.
And Burley, if it's been in the closet that long, it probably wants to stay in the closet, so you should drink it in there.
Keep it up, Bumpy.
All right, so it is that time. We've got to go back around. We've gone through our initial taste and thoughts on the beer. We've got to give our final thoughts and ratings. We'll go back to Michael Kormaroff and his Garvey's Point Tusk Till Dawn.
Okay, so in the glass, as you can see, I've been drinking it down. There's about maybe 3 ounces left. I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I think what Bumpy hit on is true, though. The lactose and the milk sugar tones down the cacao nibs, and makes them more acceptable with the peanut butter. So the combination is really good. I'm going to give it a 96. So it is an A bordering on world class. It hasn't reached the top end kind of thing, but it's very good. The alcohol is masked, so you really can't taste even the 8%. So I am enjoying it. And I got this in my 12 pack from my Pints of Love series. It was brewed on the 16th of December, which means it's almost 5 months old, but a stout like this should hold up, and it's fine.
Hey, Legendary Michael, I was curious. Do you have any stouts from years on past, like years ago in your cellar? I'm just curious.
I do have some older. I don't have anything really old though. I have a 16 Bourbon County.
That's perfect. Good.
16.
Perfect.
Wow.
Awesome.
Wasn't that the first year that they switched to the nice new embossed bottles? I'm pretty sure 2015 they still had the paper labels and the 12-ounce bottles where you could actually buy them in 6-packs.
Right. They had their issue where some of them turned sour and they had to take some back and whatever. So in 16 on, they're pasteurized, and I don't know if you'd hold them much more than 5 years though, because you never know. But so I still have a 16, a 17, and an 18.
I was curious, but
I bet you. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Alex.
That's how sour beers come about, right? If you accidentally do something. I don't know. I mean, 50-50, right?
It's not what they're trying to do, though. That's the point.
Yeah.
There's a difference between a stale and beer that's gone bad versus an intentionally soured ale.
Do that, Legendary Bumpy.
All right. So, Josh, it is your birthday, so I'll let you get away with some of those comments, but you're walking a very very thin line there, buddy.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I started that because I was.
You did. You started it by commenting as me without my permission. That's fine. All right. So, okay.
John, you had no choice.
But I know it's something that would have been in your mind.
Yeah, it was in my mind. I wasn't gonna say it out loud, but that's fine. Okay, so we gotta go back to Bumpy with his
Oh, damn
is
it.
interesting 10.5%
Okay.
berry weird wreckage.
Okay, so I looked this beer up to try to find what hops are used in it. They use Columbus hops, which the sensory on the Columbus pungent, resiny, earthy, and spicy. I did mention earthy tones possibly in the aromas a little bit. Having an aroma of black pepper, licorice. So black licorice. I didn't mention black licorice, but maybe, that could be delving into that bit of an odd fruitiness. Aroma can change to qualities of marijuana. And if used heavily in the flavor aroma end of the brew, Columbus hops may have slight citrus characters. I did mention maybe a little bit of a citrus when beer is fresh. This is not fresh. And then we move on to the other hop that's in this, and it's Magnum. And sensory on Magnum comes to aroma and only mild flavor qualities. Generally, these qualities are characterized as faint or weak, but in line with some noble hops. It may have hints of spice and citrus, with some inclinations toward mild, flowery, and or fruity flavors. So, like I was saying, it was kind of this it was fruity, but it's not like a dark fruit. And I think it was coming from the hops, like I said, versus the malt, because a lot of times the dark fruit's going to come from the malt. You're going to get plum, raisin characters and stuff that usually comes from darker malts.
Right.
This one stayed kind of true to the kind of roasty and bready and somewhat chocolatey notes from the malt. And I thought that the fruitiness was coming from the hops. So a mild fruitiness to me, a lighter fruit, raspberries, strawberry, something lighter, apple, somewhere in that realm, versus the darker fruit. So that just kind of, at least I feel a little bit better about what I might have been tasting, because it's not something that I normally would pick up in a
You've been validated now, so you can feel good about
I validated myself by something up and then twisting maybe what they were saying to fit my criteria.
Exactly. We all do it.
Yeah, but what I was tasting was what I was actually tasting. That's why it kind of threw me off, because it's like I shouldn't be tasting. Why did I taste that? And then I felt really weird.
Right.
But decent beer. I would say this one was better before. Aging this one, actually, it's gone down on my rating scale versus when I had it fresher, which is strange for an Imperial Stout at 10.5%. Sometimes you age them, they can get better. This one seems to have dropped off the table a little bit.
Well, let's say Bumpy, is that beer aging at your house, or you just started aging?
Yes, I have it. I had it in my beer fridge. I really liked it, and I wanted the wife to be able, because she likes stouts and stuff. So I set it aside for her, and she's just not drinking any beers, basically. So this was the only Imperial Stout I had in the fridge, so I grabbed it. I'm drinking it now, and it's definitely changed, but not for the better for this one. This is not an aging one. Drink this one fresher. You're going to get some more of those chocolate and coffee notes coming up front. And you might get some licorice out of it too. Can't really remember exactly everything I was getting out of it when it was fresher, but the strange, weird fruit note thing that's coming through now it's different. It's not bad, but it's different. It's definitely not the same beer. And I would score this one as is right now. I scored it a lot higher. I think I scored it in like the very good to excellent range. At this point, I would probably give this beer about a 91 out of 100.
Okay. So A- range. All right. You remember what you gave it fresh?
I think it probably would have been around a 97.
Wow. So that's a big drop off. You go from outstanding to like barely excellent.
Yeah, which is really strange too for like an Imperial Stout. You normally you age them, they get better. It's like not in this case.
Right. Burley, I don't know exactly what you mean talking about. Does the bittering happen before yeast is adding? Well, bittering normally or mostly comes from the hops, but if you're talking about, I don't know, Bumpy, you want to weigh in on that?
There's no hops.
Yeah. Well, you get bitterness from the malts as well. So malts carry a bit of bitterness, but most of the bittering is going to come from the hops, which are typically going to be added during the boil of some sort or whirlpool. There's very, very fractional amount of bittering that would come from dry hopping. So dry hopping would come after the yeast is added. So most of your bittering is going to come prior to yeast additions. That sums up.
Okay, and then Brian, I guess I missed some of these comments earlier. Sorry, guys. Yes, no, Tommy, I know I am brighter than the rest. It's because I can't go full screen because I have to be able to look at comments, and it's just I have a large monitor, and it just makes I'm not normally this white. Sorry about that, Tommy. Hopefully I'm not blinding you. Okay, so we've got a 96, we got a 91, we got to go to Alex, the beer master, with his Founders KBS. We've got somebody from Founders actually in the chat, Alex. So he says he expects a very high rating for this beer.
Well,
if you're going to keep getting free stuff from him, no pressure.
I love it. I actually, it's getting better now, but it's just not my favorite. But I would get this again. I'm gonna give this beer.
Well, it's almost gone. It must not be too bad. And it's a 12% beer, so it's pretty good, huh?
I'm gonna give this beer, I think, a 95. I really think it's because I think as it warmed up, because I was thinking about this earlier, as it warmed up, it kind of got a little bit more sweeter. It has that bitterness, but it didn't have that full-on bitter as I was drinking it. It still has that dryness, but still, I think it gets better as it warms up with the bitterness of it. So it has a little bit more sweetness now. But hey, it's good beer. I would get it again.
Yeah, that's kind of where I would have rated it to, probably around 94, 95. I've had it before, but I'm not a big coffee fan, so.
I would say, I'm right there, 95, 96. Yeah, the espresso was my least favorite, just because I'm not a huge coffee fan, and you get a little bit less sweetness,
it's
a little bit more bitterness. Yes. Yeah, I mean, the Mackinac fudge for me is, as far as the KBS is concerned, that's the bee's knees of KBS. I hope they put that one out every year.
Johnny boy, I don't like coffee either, but I love coffee beers. But yes, out of all the KBSs, even though I like the original just like you do and all that, but my favorite out of all of them is the Mackinac fudge. And it's also cool that it's actually the Mackinac fudge coffee, which I never even heard of until.
Right.
You should get some of that coffee and have it in your home.
Well, I will. I don't know if I can get that though. Isn't that near you?
It's a local Michigan thing. I don't think that coffee is going to be available anywhere other than Michigan. Obviously, you get it in the Mackinac fudge when you get, but like as far as buying it individually, I don't think that's going to be possible.
You can probably go on Mackinac fudge or Mackinac coffee house or something like that.
You can. You may be able to order it online or something, but you're not going to be able to find it in your local grocery store in New Jersey.
Yeah, it's not like a beer that you desperately need to explode your horizon like beer companies have to do doing this crazy stuff. So, it's not like that. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so we've got some good ratings here. I'm ready to go ahead and give my beer a rating, and hate to disappoint everybody, but I'm gonna go with an 85 out of 100, and let me tell you why. So
an 85.
85. It's still That's a solid B. I know that's low for me because usually it's there's so many good beers out there now that it's hard to like anything below a 90 now is almost like shocking.
Yeah, you're in Alex territory right now.
I know. But so the
And
reason
I'm
that I'm
enjoying
dropping this, the reason that I'm dropping this so low, and it's still 85 out of 100 is a solid B. It's right there. It's a B beer. But the reason that I'm knocking it down so much is because it's not at all as advertised. I mean, you say Imperial Stout with chocolate and vanilla extract. You start talking about extracts, I'm expecting some bold flavor. I'm expecting a lot of vanilla sweetness. I didn't get any of that. I was expecting a lot of chocolate. The only chocolate that I picked up on, I believe, was from the roasted barley malt, like that dark chocolate note that you get from a lot of straight stouts that have just the dark roasted barley malt. That's what I got. Now, yes, it's 10% alcohol and it drinks like a 6% beer, which was a huge plus. But the fact that it didn't deliver on any of the flavors that I thought I was going to get, I've got to knock it down to a B. But if you're looking for a straight, like just a traditional stout with a lot of roasted malt character and rich notes and the alcohol at 10% masked exceptionally well, then this would be a great beer to have. But as far as delivering on the chocolate, the vanilla, that it didn't have any of that for me. So 85 out of 100, which I'm sure brought the overall average. I guess I could calculate. I know Ron likes to do that. I got my calculator here. Let's see what the average was, just for curiosity.
It's going to be more than 90, but not by a lot.
Right, 91.
It'll be 91
plus
0.5
plus 85.
Maybe 90.5 kind of thing, I think.
91.75. So almost we'll round that up to 92.
That's 0.25
Not bad.
Okay.
Not bad at all.
John, do we have time for show and tell?
We do, yeah. So let's go ahead and we'll do that now. One real quick thing I want to just say, Michael did drink the Pontoon Fluffy Otter, which I sent him not too long ago. He did it in one of his tastings, which he had a nice turnout for, by the way, which is really cool. I was a little disappointed that you weren't a big fan of or that everybody didn't really like the Fluffy Otter, but
well, Johnny Boy here loves it.
John, I think the other one
Bumpy liked it. Bumpy liked it when the
other one you mentioned, the fluffier otter, would have done better because I think the problem was this one only had
the peanut
31 IBUs, which didn't temper the sweetness enough. You needed the 51, the extra stuff to temper. It was just it was like a pastry stout doubled again to me. Now again, everybody's got different tastes, but
right? No. I get it. Yeah. Okay, so yes, show and tell. I'm sorry, Michael, what do you got?
This is actually funny because John and I have discussed these beers a lot. Bumpy, not so much with you, but you're going to get a kick out of this anyway. This is from Lithuania, from Rizkin Cool, whatever you call it. John, this is one of the ones from your lobster collection. Remember the one you had before? Look at this bottle. It's after and before. You see the woman on it?
Yes, we see it.
You turn it over, right? Look what you get when you turn it over.
An old lady.
An old man, old lady, old man.
Yeah, that's like what brewery did that?
It's called Risky. It's from Lithuania. Riskus. It's a real weird pronunciation. And
Riskulski, or something like that.
Anyway, so this is a 12% Bumpy charged lager. So what this is, and I mentioned this on the other show, and Brian made his comment about it. He says they must put in extra malts, to raise the alcohol level on it. So it does drink heavy as far as a lager goes, because you're not used to a 12% lager. So we assume they use lager yeast in it as well, but he thinks they amp it up with a lot of malt in it to make it, that intense. And I've had this before. It's almost like what you're drinking. It's very heavy. In other words, it's the mouthfeel is heavy, and you have to sip this. If you were to chug this, you would be in trouble. And it's only 16.9 ounces, 12%. You think you could?
And that's a mild. They actually have the Crazy Brewski, and another. They have a 14% and a 16% beer as well.
And Bumpy, they're weird because they claim they're Imperial Pilsners.
One of them is a 14. It's a 14% Imperial Pilsner, right? Isn't that how they classify it?
But if you actually look at the beer, it doesn't look anything like a Pilsner. So maybe in Lithuania, that's how they characterize it, kind of thing. And it's funny or weird. And it's the importers in South Carolina. So I don't know where it does. John was able to get some of the higher alcohol beers because I don't think they read the numbers on it at the time when he was buying it in Georgia, because they were over the 14% limit. And they caught on, and now we can't get them anymore. So kind of, it's unfair, John. But you could get this. This is only 12%. So if you go to that local place where they had it, maybe
the Super H Mart, the Asian market in Atlanta. That's where I got all those.
Brandon's package, Johnny boy. Brandon's package. What about that one?
No, they don't carry that kind of stuff.
No, Brandon's package ain't gonna carry anything like that.
You never know, though.
Bumpy, this is kind of like a specialty beer, and it's expensive too. This one was like $3.50, but I mean that's not expensive, I guess, but like $3.
Well, for 12%, no, that's a value, and that's a big bottle.
Michael, if it's a specialty beer, you'd think Brandon's package would sell that because
it's a specialty beer from Lithuania. They're not going to be hitting the Eastern European kind of set very much. I bought this in one of these places. It's funny, one of these places that sells mostly to Russian people because they had the full line of all those Russian beers there as well. So it's for this, something like this goes Eastern European people must remember this from the homeland, this style. And it's almost like what's the other one called? Baltica, which is the Russian one. They had every
Baltica,
number 9. Had every number. They had 1 through 9 in this place. Now, I've never been thrilled with their beers, but if you like that style, they had all those too. But at some point, I will drink this again.
What's going on? Is this something for your show? What's going on with the basement? You want to pull that up?
If we're doing a show and tell, if you want to bring that up.
So
I do have merchandise. So this is my storefront right here. If you look at that, this is some of the merch. So you got a classic tee, 1280. You got this one, which I think would be better for if you want the stuff to actually stay on there. You got a hoodie, a sticker, and if you just want to, F with the goat, we do have just a goat sticker there too. The tote bag thing doesn't seem to be actually coming up as for sale. Maybe at some point, maybe everybody's not working because they're making more money staying at home. But I can bring you into this. I'll show you some of the colors. So this is kind of what it looks like for the front of the shirt there.
I like that. Yeah, I've got to order my Bumpy Road gear soon. I've got to ask though, what's up with the goat?
The goat was my idea. Actually, 2016, I came up with the drunken goat. I was trying to make merchandise, just because, homebrewing and stuff. So I had this goat idea within a hop wreath, and I created something, and it was on another site, and it never came to fruition. And I started talking with Bear Man, and he does designs with the computers. And so I talked to him about the drunken goat and the wreath and the hop wreath, and he put this together. So it's a bit more than what I originally thought, but it was kind of one of those, hey, how does this look? Yeah, and he tweaked it and kept going with it. So that's the back shirt design there, and then the front one. This was kind of the way that I had it laid out too. But the bumpy road coming this way and then coming down the road going all through the brewery and then the road. So how I originally designed the shirt was having just a wavy road going up this way. Then it just said bumpy road, and then at the bottom it said brewery with the road just kind of waving down. But this was all kind of Beer Man's thing of kind of how I told him I wanted it. I said I want to have a bumpy road across the chest and then brewery coming down the side off the B. I think it works well that way.
Looks really good.
But yeah, you got that. I mean, hoodies. This is kind of how the hoodie looks. So Bearman had it designed. He had it put first when he was trying to help me out with the back with the goat on the front here. But that's like, I don't know. And then he had this like across the back, really large. I'm like, I don't know. I just like the back drunken goat thing because you'd be walking by somebody or somebody would be walking behind you and be like, what the hell? You know, and it's not so much. It's just like, hey, look, bumpy road.
Nice. I like how that hoodie too. That's a zipper. It's got a zipper all the way down.
Yeah, it's a zipper hoodie.
I like the zipper hoodie. Yeah.
And these are all the colors you can choose from. This is priced to sell. These things generally go for like $50.
Right, but how do you?
From some people, and I told Beerman because I couldn't quite get things working, and I was going for zero profit. But apparently you have to have profit of some sort. So this on the market, I think, is like about $30 just by itself. So basically $2 profit probably is what this will end up being.
So how much would you get it when people buy your merchandise? Like just $2 to $3.
Off a sweatshirt, I'd get like $2. Off the shirts, I get $3.
I'm gonna order a bunch of stuff, and then
the shirts are better. Off the shirts, I get 3 cents.
I'll send you
for sure.
I'll order a bunch of stuff, Bumpy, and then I'll send you the bill for all of the profit. You can just write me a check since you don't. Since that's not why you're doing it. You can send me that money back.
Yeah, this is 10 cents profit off of the sticker, $3.60. Originally it's $3.50. But that's the sticker right there. You got the goat.
Nice.
Oh, that's a die cast sticker. So
I think it'll be cool to do my own merchandise. I'm gonna have to talk to Mr. Legendary Beer Man. He said he'll help me out. So I think I'm still gonna do my logo. No. I still think I'm gonna do my logo though because I love that old fashioned logo when
it looks like it's not about making profit. It's about
just having fun with
having my name put out there. Plus just I think it's a nice. It's not something I designed myself, really. I mean, I had a say in kind of like what I wanted. Like I started with the goat thing and the wreath.
Well, you designed it.
Thoughts I had, and I just kind of portrayed that to Beer Man, and he put it to life.
Yeah.
It's like the person that writes the song and the person that sings the song. Who gets the credit?
Right.
The person that sings the song.
That's a good way.
Beer Man gets all the credit for everything.
So Alex,
yes, Johnny boy, go ahead.
I was just gonna say we're wrapping this up here. We're going over an hour. I don't want to go too much longer. I want to give you an opportunity to give any shout outs or Food Friday. I know you got coming up again soon. So what's on the agenda?
So Food Friday is French toast and beer. If you can find French toast beer, fine. If not, just bring any beer because sometimes it's kind of hard to bring a French toast beer. So I'm gonna just do any beer. But yeah.
You just take French toast and pour a
you don't pour the beer on the French toast.
On top of it.
I love you, John.
Good.
But no, and also
French toast. Yep, go ahead. What else you got? You want to show off your CBS?
But I also have this, and the Johnny Boy and the legendary Michael has this too as well, I believe. At least one of the CBSs. I don't know if it's a small bottle or a big bottle. Either way.
Miscellaneous and Josh too have it.
Okay, so they have big bottles or small bottles?
Big bottles. Big bottles, I think.
Yeah. So yeah,
Miscellaneous has the 2019. It's a small bottle. Josh has a big one from 17.
I have the 2019 one bottle. The legendary Johnny Boy here has a 4-pack of I believe 2019, right? Johnny Boy?
I can get it, yeah. Yes.
2019. Yeah. So and also you also have a big bottle as well from 2018, I believe. I think. I'm not sure. Verify that.
Oh no, that was just a bottle I saved from. I was just showing it off the other night. It's not full. I just saved the bottle.
Well, that's okay.
No, unfortunately, I cannot get the big bottles anymore. But I can get the 4-packs of the 2019 CBS.
Well, you know how it goes that the 4-packs disappeared, right? When I was in my Total Wine. I go there 3 or 4 months later, and they have the big bottles. Now, it's a possibility that they'll probably do the same thing for your state too, Johnny Boy.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't count on it. Basically,
Yeah, but
they're
my
just
point is,
places where these.
But my point is, Johnny Boy, some of these places still they hold back these.
I know, yeah.
Backstage, because I looked it up. It's backstage series. I don't know what backstage means, but that's what it says when I look up Total Wine. I go on the description and it says a backstage series. I'm like, what's a backstage series? I don't know how that works. But no, I mean, you never know, because remember when they did the CBS small bottles, I got them, and then a couple of weeks later, you got them. So it's possible that you might get these too, Johnny Boy.
Well, okay. The only way I'll get those now is if other states they're not selling in other states and they ship them over here to try to get rid of them. But yeah, I mean, 2018. I mean, we're talking 3 going on 4 years because they were released in early 20. Yeah, so I don't think I'm going to see those anymore in Georgia. That time is come and gone. But I can get the 2019. We can do an examination, a CBS thing soon.
Right.
Let's go ahead and wrap this up. We're going.
I'm sorry, John. I'm a really talkative person. Forgive me.
No, it's fine. We're gonna go off air. I want to thank everybody in the chat for tuning in. Happy birthday to Josh Abrams. Appreciate you watching. Thanks to Michael and Bumpy and Alex for joining. It was a lot of fun. I'm glad we got to do this since I didn't get to join the Wildcard Wednesday or the Kona beer examination earlier. Hope everybody has a great rest of your week. And we will see you all on the next one. Be sure to tune in to Stout Sunday, 10:30 Eastern Time, Sunday morning. Bring your porter and stout. Hang out with us. We're going to have a good time and drink some good beers. Until then, we will see you on the next one. Cheers, everybody.
I was going to sign out for you, but okay.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
Sign out.
All right. So this sucks the Beer Master, and we'll see you all in the next live stream, next video. Sucks Beer Master signing out.
There you go.